My town's emergency alert system has been blaring for 6 days straight. No one remembers why it started. It began sometime before dawn, a shrill, continuous wail echoing from the sirens scattered across town. I remember sitting upright in bed, thinking it had to be a malfunction, but it never stopped. Now it plays on a loop, 24/7, like it's the new background noise for life. The message is always the same. Remain indoors. Do not engage with anyone outside. That's it. No cause, no timeline, just that. I've been asking around, trying to figure out what happened, but no one seems to even remember when it started. My neighbor said it's probably just a drill. My boss said it was just city maintenance. When I asked if he remembered the day it started, he blinked, like I'd asked him the square root of a sandwich. Even my brother Mark just shrugged and told me to stop obsessing, that the government always has a reason. But I can't stop thinking about the way people have changed. They still go to work, still mow their lawn, but there's this blankness behind their eyes, like they're following a routine they forgot the purpose of. I started keeping a notebook the moment it began. Dates, sketches, notes from the broadcasts. The only break in the static was a voice, male, garbled, saying, "Containment breach confirmed. Stay inside," before it cut out. This morning I found something new. A piece of paper slid under my front door. In smeared black ink it read, "They're lying. Rooftop, library, sundown." I grabbed my bag, tucked the note inside, and waited. When the sun began to set, I headed out, keeping my hood low, counting every step toward the library. It was just past closing when I arrived. The lights inside were off, but the front door was propped open with a brick. I stepped inside, flashlight in hand, passing rows of untouched books and desks that hadn't been cleaned in days. The siren felt louder here, pressing against my skull like a migraine. The rooftop access was behind a restricted door. Lock, of course. But the janitor's closet nearby had a long metal rod. I jammed it between the door and the frame and pushed until the lock snapped. At the top of the stairs I found her. A woman, maybe in her late 20s, pacing with a duffel bag at her feet. She flinched when she saw me, then relaxed just a little. "You got the note?" I nodded. "Who are you?" "Alice," she said quickly. "I used to work for the emergency broadcast center." She unzipped the bag. Inside were cassette tapes, dozen, each one labeled with a date and a red marker line through it. "This town's been through something," she whispered. "We broadcast these alerts manually, or used to, but this," she gestured toward the siren, "this isn't us anymore." I took one of the tapes and held it up to the fading light. The label read March 14th, original alert. Before I could ask, she grabbed a tape recorder and pressed play. A voice crackled through, "Level 4 threat detected. Lockdown authorized. Subject identified as local resident. Do not approach. Repeat, do not approach." The tape cut off. Alice looked at me, her eyes suddenly sharp. "It's you. They were talking about you." My stomach dropped. "That's not possible. I'm just..." She pointed toward the edge of the rooftop. A man was standing in the middle of the street, staring directly up at us. He looked just like me. The figure didn't move, just stood there in the center of the street, arms slack at his sides, face tilted upward in perfect alignment with mine. Alice backed away from the edge of the roof. "It's been happening in other towns," she muttered. "Places with experimental alert systems. They blame it on glitches, memory failures, infrastructure bugs, but it's always the same. Someone sees themselves, then people start forgetting, then comes the noise." The cassette player hissed, and then a second voice crackled through, softer, unnatural. "He is awake. Begin extraction." My ears rang. The sirens outside shifted, changing pitch to something shrill and fractured, not mechanical anymore, almost alive. "I need you to listen to me," Alice said, reaching into her bag and pulling out another tape. This one, unlabeled. "This is the override. It's the only thing that ever stopped it before, but it has to be played from the original broadcast tower." I took the tape, then I made the mistake of looking down again. The copy of me was gone. Alice froze. "Where did he?" A bang echoed through the stairwell behind us. Too late. The door burst open, and the man from the street stepped into the rooftop access. His face was mine, but wrong. Hollow under the eyes, skin too smooth, no breath, just a smile, like he knew every second of my life before I'd lived it. "Run!" Alice screamed. I didn't. I lunged forward and shoved the tape into the recorder. The air buckled, the sirens warped into static, and then into a low hum. Then the figure vanished. I collapsed, gasping, and looked around. Alice was gone. The town was still. No siren, no people, just a recorder still playing, stuck on a loop of static, and a voice I hadn't heard before. Broadcast complete. Memory reset in progress. New subject selected. Then I looked at my reflection in the rooftop glass door. It wasn't me anymore.